Yes! Well, hello there, 7th and 8th graders. Good morning or good afternoon to you, depending on what time of the day I have you. We are actually in our last lesson for Chapter 2, Proportional Figures, Non-Proportional. So today, we're going to discuss area and perimeter of similar figures. So if we have two figures that are similar, not the same size, but they are similar in size, like dilations, then their areas and perimeters will be proportional. So really today's super easy. We're just setting up proportions and solving for area or perimeter. So next video we'll start with perimeter of similar figures, and then we'll move on to area. Okay, so right here we have two triangles. This one is 15 millimeters measures, and this measures 15 millimeters, and we do know that the perimeter of this triangle right here is 15 meters, or millimeters. Sorry, that should be never in. Now, I don't care about the labels on measurements. I do care about labels on proportions, ratios, and fractions. It's just really important for you guys so you can understand, so you can keep things together. That's a big thing, like keeping likes together, and especially in a proportion. If you have the small shape on top and the big shape on bottom, or if I put the measurements we know on top and the perimeter on bottom, if I flip-flop at the next triangle, I'm not going to get the right answer. All right, so you can use your calculators, but you won't really have to. Maybe you will. I'm going to show you two ways you can solve this. Okay, so I'm going to label the measurement side, the measurement we know, and then the perimeter that we know, okay? The measurement that we know and the perimeter that we know. The measurement we know is 5 right here, and the perimeter that we know is 15, okay? This equal sign means that whatever's over here has to equal what's over here, okay? So I know the measurement for over here, but I don't know its perimeter. That's what I'm trying to figure out. All right, so I'm going to show you two ways to do this, and this is just really pretty and neat, and it just works really good, okay? All right, so we're going to cross multiply. So we'll do this side first. 5x, I always like my variable on the left. That's just a thing with me. You don't have to. It could be on the right. Doesn't matter. 5x, and then we have 15 times 15, right? 15 times 15. Okay, here we go. I've got to get rid of this x, and we've had this discussion on a quiz. Y'all asked me, it was the square root of 18 times d. If this number is touching this variable, that means we're multiplying, and I've got to get rid of it. And the only way to get rid of it is to undo it, and to undo it is the opposite of what it's doing. Hey, what it's doing is multiplying, so I've got to do the opposite, and we all know the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to divide it over here. If I divide over here, that cancels out, and I'm left with x. If I divide over here, I got to do it over here. Now, I can only divide this 5 by one of these 15s, and I'm just going to do this. I'm going to just do that one. I know that 5 will go into both of them. 5 will go into 5 one time, and it'll go into 15 three times. So now I can do this in my head, or if you need to use a calculator, you can. 3 times 15 is 45. Okay, so the perimeter of the big triangle is 45 right there. Okay, I'm going to show you another way. You probably all know how to do this, and that's fine. Okay, this is just set up really pretty for me right here, so I can just do it. I know that 5 times 3 is 15, and what I do to the top, I got to do to the bottom, okay? And 15 times 3 is 45. My brain went blank there for a second. All right, so it's however you want to do it. And not all the times will it be set up super pretty like this, or it's easy to do. Sometimes it's difficult. Let's do one with a trapezoid. Let me erase. Okay. have it on some scratch paper. 1 second. I'll move my chair. You know, I really miss my calling in life. I should have been an artist. I'm amazing at it. We've got 6 and 4, 24. Okay, so this is going to be 6, and this is going to be 4, and the perimeter we know is 24. Okay, for that one. All right. Okay, so I'm going to set up my labels. I'm going to find the perimeter of this one. I'm going to do my measurements I know to the perimeter. Okay, the measurement I know here is 6, and I do know that the perimeter is 24. And the measurement I know over here is 4, and the perimeter is, I don't know, so I'm going to put an X. You can put P, it doesn't matter. All right, so I know this is not set up super pretty. I don't know anything times 6 that'll give me 4. I mean a decimal number, but I'm not going to mess with that. This will be fun. So we have 6x is equal to 24 times, not x. It's a Wednesday. You would think that it's a Monday for me by the way I'm acting. All right, so I have 6x equals 24 times 4. I'm going to get rid of the 6 by undoing it because I'm multiplying here and the opposite is dividing. So I'm going to divide by 6, come over here, divide by 6, and I'm going to divide right here. 6 goes into 6 one time, but it goes into 24 4 times, and 4 times 4 is 16. So this perimeter is 16. Let me see. If you would, I don't know what I was going to say. I'm not going to say anything. I'm losing my mind. All right. So next up is area. We'll start with trapezoids, and then we'll go to the triangles like we did last time. Okay? All right. See you in a second. Okay. This is going to be a little bit more difficult, and it's going to require more steps. So please pause this video right now. Go get scratch paper, come back, copy this down real quick. I'll wait. I just can already see you guys just walking to get the scratch paper. If I were you, I'm being serious. I would really take this down because you're going to need this. All right, so first off, I want to tell you that I'm very lucky. This problem already gave me the area. Sometimes you have to find the area of one of the figures, okay? So I already got the area. I don't have to find the area. They told me it's 28 feet squared. So before we go any further, this is very important when we're finding area of similar figures, the feet squared, okay? That's important. So let's say I have a square, because a lot of times kids don't know where the feet squared comes from. Why is it squared? Why is it square inches? Why is it square feet? I'm going to show you. So this is my beautiful square. I know I'm a great drawer. And it's a 2 foot by 2 foot, right? And you all know that the area of this square would be 4 foot squared. Because we found it by doing 2 times 2, which equals 4. But we also did 2 feet times 2 feet. And we know feet times feet, or anything times itself, is squared, okay? All right, okay. So keep the feet squared. Keep the squared in the back of your mind. Oh, I just messed it up. All right, so we're keeping the square in the back of our mind. All right, so now I've got to find the scale factor. And why they choose K to be scale factor, I don't know why. It wasn't me, peeps. I would have done SF. And if you want to do SF, that's fine. So the way I find my scale factor, we did it yesterday. A really easy way is I've got this big one to little, and I'm going to take my calculator on, and I'm going to do 6 divided by 4, enter. You should get 1.5. Our scale factor is 1.5. That means that this trapezoid is 1.5 times smaller than the greater one, the bigger one, okay? All right, so now I have my area. So I know that to find the area of the other one, I'm going to have to do area is equal to, I'm going to have to do 28 feet squared divided by 1.5. squared. Okay? Because area is squared. So I have to square my scale factor. Okay? And I'm going from a big one to a little one. So I've got to divide right there. I'm going to divide. So use your calculator and do 28 divided by 1.5 squared. Okay? Make sure you square this. This is why I'm telling you guys, you got to take notes. This is important. That's a big step and it would mess everything up. You click enter and you get 12.444, repeating decimal. We would just round that to 12.4. That area is 12, and it looks like 124. Let me make these decimal points where you can see them. Okay? The squaring part, because it's area. Okay? You will have tests on this. You need to remember that when you're finding the area of similar figures, you've got to square the scale factor. This is why you've got to understand each lesson. Okay? All right, now let's do the triangles that we had a while ago. All right, I'm going to move my chair so I can see. Okay, so we know we had a, hold on, we had a small one and a big one. We had a small one, and then we had the big one. And the small one was 5 millimeters, and this one was 15 millimeters. And these are our similar figures. Okay, now the area they're giving me of the small one is 10.7. The area is 10.7 millimeters squared, correct? Because millimeters times millimeters is millimeters squared. All right, so we need to find the scale factor. I can see the scale factor. I don't need a calculator. How do you get from 5 to 15? Times 3. Now, beautiful K for scale factor. So stupid. It should be SF, but I didn't make the rules. So we know that 5 times 3 is 15. Our scale factor is 3. Okay? This triangle is 3 times smaller than this one, or this one is 3 times bigger than that one. All right, so they gave us the area. I didn't have to find it. Praise Jesus. So I'm going to take my area. Now this time it's going to be a little bit different because I've got 10.7 millimeters squared. Okay, now I'm going little to big, so I'm going to multiply this. I'm stretching it, so I'm going to multiply it, okay? So, and I'm multiplying by 3 squared because it's square millimeters squared, or not square feet, I almost said square feet. Okay, so in your calculator, type in 10.7 times 3 squared, and you should get 96.3 millimeters squared. Now this is, you can use your common sense on this, because if you know that this area is 10.7, you know this has got to be bigger than 10.7, because this figure is obviously greater in size than this one. Okay, so I'm going to try to be easy and not put too many of these area ones on your quizzes, but I kind of feel like I need to, because you guys really have to be able to practice this for STAR and for your chapter test, because, you know, we know tests can't be corrected. Anyway, so if you have questions, let me know. I hope you took notes. It's very important to find the scale factor. Everything that you learn comes together. You've got to ask questions, peeps, got to. So we've got the scale factor of 3, and since we're going little to big, we're going to multiply there because we're stretching that figure. If we were going big to little, we would divide, okay? So, if you have any questions, raise your hand.